Welcome back. This is the DarkWing Rigging Project, part 4 you're about to watch. This is the model where we last left it, complete with the rig, and a few poses that we set over here. So in the first part, we set up an armature, and that would be this armature here. And then in the second project, in the second part of the project, we set up a we parented all the bones and set up some bone constraints. The third part of the project, we set up some poses that you see here. And in this part of the project, we're going to go ahead and do a walk cycle. Okay, so actually looking at this, not really lined up right. Should be more like that. So let's go ahead and move these around. Turn on my manipulator. Yeah, that's more where I want it. Something like that. Bring that foot back down to the ground. I just want to get this. There we go. It doesn't look like it's gonna snap his foot off. How about over here on this foot? This looks good. Well, this looks like it can go up a little. More like that. You know what? Let me undo that. This would be a good time to use our ankle here. I'm going to rotate this along the local x-axis. Bring it up. Just don't want these intersecting. Make sure my foot gets flattened here. And grab it along the y-axis. Flatten it out. Bring it down, grab it along the y-axis again. Move this one around. Grab this one along the y-axis. Can't tell if that's coming towards me or not. There we go. That's better. Now that we've made changes to this pose, and this is pretty much the stepping right pose because he's stepping with his right foot forward. I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to add, replace existing, step right. I'm going to copy this pose. I'm going to paste it mirrored, and then I'm going to add and replace existing step left. Okay, so pretty much where I want it. We'll make adjustments and tweaks as we go, but let's get started on the walk cycle. So we're on frame 0 here, and I normally, when I start off with the mech walking, I normally let it walk over 60 frames. Basically, that's about 2 seconds. So it takes 1 step per second. So I'm going to go ahead and, we have step left here forward, and that's fine. So we'll just keep that there. All of my bones are selected. So I'm going to hit I and put a keyframe in here for the location and rotation. And then I'm going to jump ahead to frame 60. Then I'm going to once again use the I key and set location rotation. Then I'm going to go shift and down arrow 3 times. It gets me to frame 30. And then I'm going to swap to my step right pose. And then I and location rotation. If I go back to the beginning, now if I jump to keyframes, you see I have left forward, right forward, left forward. So I'm going to go ahead and take my timeline and set it for 59 frames. Go back to the beginning. Let's hit Alt A. And you can see he's kind of sliding along the floor. Oh, I didn't set the end to 59. I just set the current frame to 59 there. Now I set the end to 59. So once it gets to frame 59, it'll start back at the beginning. You can see there's the beginning of our walk cycle. Let's take a look from side view. It's pretty good. Remember, we have the bones on layer 2. So if we set the if we turn layer 1 on, hide the layer 2, then we can kind of see where the bones are. We can see the movement without the bones. Yeah, that's pretty good. He's just sliding across the floor right now, but you're getting the idea, right? The beginning of our walk cycle. So let's hit escape, bring our bones back. Now we need a passing pose. So I like to, not like you would think right at frame 15 where the legs are pretty much side by side is where you want your passing pose, and normally you do. But I like to actually set it more towards frame 20. And I'll go ahead and bring the leg back. What leg are we starting on? Left, so all the weight's on the left leg. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's bring this down a little. Because really, he's bearing weight down on the left leg. His hip is pushing up. So we can even offset it a little. Okay. So I like that there. So we're going to have to also set it at frame 60. Happened. Frame 1, we copy the pose. Frame 60, we paste it. And set a keyframe. Go back to frame 30. We paste it reversed and set a keyframe. Alright. Because, like I was saying, I like to put the passing pose at about frame 20. Because I like it to look like he's slowly lifting his foot, and then boom, the foot comes down. Kind of to catch the weight. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead, and that was left foot forward. So I'm going to go ahead and at frame 20, I'm going to move. Oh, I have it set for local. Starts to spread them apart, remember? I'm going to move this forward towards the center here. You can see this is going to need some tweaking. Let's go with this way and this way. Be in a little. Make sure it's not going through the ground. Let's rotate this on the local X. Couldn't see. Alright, got a better view from here. Let's rotate it on the local X. Now bring it shut. Go back to this view. I think we're going to have to bring this foot down a little, but first, on the passing phase, the hips are going to go up. So let's grab them. Let's go straight up. Okay. Let's see, from the front, we're going to want to put most of his weight on his right leg. So we can actually swing this leg in. Oh no, this is the left leg, right? Lost track of it. We can shift his weight to the left. Straighten this out a little bit. First I might bring this down a little. Let me take a look. Nope, I like it where it's at. Flat on the floor. Alright. This might actually need to come down so that we can put all his weight on his left foot. Try that. See how that looks. So let's flatten this foot out. Or the heel, I should say. Grab it along the Y. A little more this way. There. Fairly flat. Things lined up all right. Let me rotate this a little. That messed this up. So let's readjust this. Get to flatten out. Grab it along the Y. Move it a little bit more in. Switch to wireframe view. Lots of tweaking here. Alright. Now this foot is actually passing. So let's grab it. Bring it up here. Good. Let's bring this down to tilt this a little. Maybe if we bring it back, it'll... Yeah, it kind of swings. That. Let's see from side view. Pretty close to the ground. Let's bring this up a little. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright. Make sure this is where we want it. And the swinging. I like that. Alright, select all. I to insert a keyframe. Control C to copy the pose. Because we don't have to repeat that entire process. We just have to jump to frame 50 and mirror the pose. You can use Control Shift V or you can use this button down here. Paste the stored pose onto the current pose. And this is actually swaps it left to right. So then we can hit I, location rotation. Go back to the beginning and let's hide layer 2. And let's take a look at what we have so far. Pretty good. I like the ankle movement. Nice mechanical look to it. Look at it from the side view. The toes look good. The heel could use some work. Should be pointing down at this point. When it's up here, it should be, the tip should be down right here. And it has some launch problems. Going too deep. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring back layer 2. Take a look from the front. Yeah, I like the hip movement. Alright. Go back to the beginning. And let's take a look. So this, I said, should really be pointing down. More like that. See from the back view how it looks. Bring it over here. I think that's okay. Let's take a look. Go to side view again. Select it all. Set a keyframe. Just gonna go one frame at a time. Looks like it kind of wobbles. Right? Goes from there. Got kind of a wobble right here. So I think right about here, pull it over this way. Let me set a keyframe for everything. That's at frame 13. Yeah, I like that. I don't mind the wobble, I just don't want it to look like it's going 100 different directions. So let's copy frame 1. Copy that pose. Let's put it on 60. Just paste it. And let's go to 30 and paste it inverted. Set a keyframe for that. Let's go to frame 13. Copy that pose. Then we need to go to frame 43 is the corresponding reverse pose. And then we'll hit insert a keyframe. And let's look at only frame 1. Alright, let's tweak it some more. Let's see what's going on here during the first couple of frames. This is going down, but really it should be going up. We're going to rotate that on the local x-axis to keep it flat. We're going to lock a keyframe in there. That's better. All right. So that was frame 13, correct? Let's see. Rotate XX. See if that's good where it is. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think this can move over some. Yeah, more like that. So that's at frame 13. We're going to set a keyframe. We're going to go up to frame 43. Oh, I need to copy that pose first. Then go to frame 43. Then paste it inverted. Set a keyframe. Let's go back to 1. We need to move this, or is it flat enough? We might have a little bit of leeway. See if it would help. Yeah, it might. Let's see, rotate XX. Flattens it out. So let's actually take a look and see if it went too far. No, it's kind of flat on there. I like it. So let's set pose 1 again. Copy pose 1. Go back to frame 60. Let's paste pose 1. Set a keyframe. Go back to frame 30. Set it in, paste inverted. Set a keyframe. Alright, let's look at only layer 1 again. Go back to the beginning. Alright, I can't tell if they're making contact here. right here. No. That is some close, precise engineering if that's how it steps. Oh well. Look at make sure the legs aren't colliding, any of the parts aren't colliding. I'm just going frame by frame. That is some precise machining there. Holy cow. Alright. So let's save this as part 4 before we go any further. Alright. So there's the beginning of a walk cycle. What else do we need to do? Well, at frame 1, that's pretty much a step. That's where all the weight came down on the left foot. So if we go a couple frames forward, let's say frame 4. Bring back my armature. We can give it a little bit of weight down. Boom. Where it hit. Okay. So let's grab this along the y-axis and flatten this foot out, or the heel out. So let's select all of that. Set a keyframe at frame 4. Copy that pose. Then at frame 34, we're going to paste the opposite. Select I, put in another keyframe. And so that should give us a little bit of an impact. So it goes. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like putting weight down on that foot. You can especially see it in the leg right here. Right here. Kind of bounces. We can further accentuate that in the upper body. So let's go back to frame 4. And let's take this upper torso, rotate it back a little. Select it all, set a keyframe, rotation. Let's go to frame 7 and rotate it. Oh, not everything, just this. Rotate it forward. See what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. So I'm not going to copy paste. Yeah, I can. Let's go A, select everything. Control C, copy the pose. Set frame 4, so at frame 34 is the opposite. Control Shift V, I, location rotation, and at frame 7, everything's locked in there. So let's copy this pose. Oh. And then go to frame 37. Paste it inverted. Now let's take a look at that. Yeah, it looks like it's taken a little bit of impact. So let's further accentuate the walk. Now that we've got the legs and the lower torso done, we're going to put a little bit of a swing in the arms. So the left leg is forward. Typically the right wing would be forward. So we're going to rotate it forward. And we're going to take the left wing and rotate it backward. And then we're going to select all of it. Insert a keyframe. Go to frame 60. Oh, we forgot to copy. Well, I forgot to copy. I didn't mean to include you, sorry. Then we paste it. Go to frame 30. When we do things right, I'll say we. When something goes wrong, I'll say I. How's that? Oh, we all feel better about it. Pretty much repeating the same process. Let's look at only layer 1 and see what he looks like. Not really swinging his arms. I like the little pimp he's got in his step for sure. Alright, that's pretty good. It's a decent walk cycle. Very basic walk cycle. Looks like it could use some tweaking. I'm not happy at all with this geometry here at the heel, because as you can see, it's intersecting with that ball joint. So I think I'd rather move that up. At least make it different. Take a look. Let me think. What can I do here? And it's almost like it has a stopper. I'll tell you what. Take a look at these. So I'm going to do some modeling on this. So what I like to do at that point is I'm going to select my skeleton, my rig. And then I'm going to go ahead and go here to the, well, I guess this is the armature panel. And switch it from pose position to rest position. And then I can kind of mess with the geometry here and not have to worry about where the model is and any of that stuff. So let's look at it. I think if I cut a hole pretty much here, I'll still have the same effect while visually allowing for the movement of that ball joint, because it goes deep into this. So let's go ahead and get rid of these. Get rid of all these, get rid of these. Get rid of all this. We're going to hit X. Delete those faces. Let's delete these faces. X. Okay, so now we need, let's take this ring, bring it up to this point. Let's make a face here and make a face here. There's not supposed to be any modeling in this tutorial, but whatever. Do what we gotta do, right? See if I can make a nice, oh yeah, that's nice. Extrude this along the Y. Make a face there. Face there, so our bumper's still intact. Let's see. Can probably go up a little. Level it off with that vertex. Okay, now I don't mind creating a lip here, so go to edge select mode, extrude those, scale them along the x-axis just a little. Let me see where my vertex, my vertices are. Grab this vertice, turn on my auto weld, so it welds them together. And then let's take let's take these and extrude along that Y. We can go up a little. Let's see if we can't match this vertex. See how that looks. Again, you're not going to have to do any of this. You'll have the completed model. Alright, that's alright. So let's grab this. Get rid of those. Get rid of that one. Oh no, I could have kept that one. Extrude those. Go up a little, come back a little, go up a little, come back a little. Let's scale it in. We can go down a little. Match that up to there. Let's grab this, weld it there. Grab this, weld it there. Looks like these can stand to come down a little bit. Grab them along, what was that, the local Y? No. Along the Z here. There. I like the looks of that. Let's see what it looks like with the ball joint. I like that a lot. Alright. So now how do we get that over here? Well, glad you asked. First we're going to switch back to our global transform orientation here. Then we're going to hit Shift C to get the cursor back to the middle. Then we're going to take this object. We're going to hit Alt. Oh, you know what? Let's put the skeleton in edit mode. No, we don't need to put it in edit mode. Leave it in pose mode. We're going to take this, Alt P, clear parent. Then we're going to hit X to delete that. We're going to select this. Why don't we just put a mirror modifier on it? And now it's mirrored over there because its center point is at this center of the grid. So we're going to move the mirror modifier up, apply it, tab into edit mode, Z to go into wireframe. We're going to select everything. We're going to deselect this one. We're going to hit P, separate the selection. So now we once again have a ankle.r. So let's name it ankle.r. Okay, and it's the exact same as the other side. All right. So now we need to take this. See, where's its center point? Yeah, I kept the center point the same. Okay. We need to take this and parent it to this bone. Before we do, I'm just going to select the ankle and hit Control A, and that way it saves the or it sets the scale. All right. And then I'm going to hit Control P and parent it to that bone. And now I'm going to take my armature and put it in pose position. And that should do it. So now this, you can see, has a lot of clearance. Let's go frame by frame. That's more like it. Yeah, I like the looks of that a lot. Fixed it up nice. So let's animate it. I just selected them so I could see the outline clearer because they're both the same color. That's some good problem solving, I think. Got a nice little walk. I think it looks good. Turn that off. Good job. Did escape. That's a basic walk cycle. I'm not going to go into the NLA editor, and I'm not going to go into the dope sheet. I just wanted to show you how to put together a basic walk cycle in case you wanted to animate something like this. You can also add during your animations, you can add well, if you go into the NLA editor and the dope sheet, you can, I mean, there's plenty of tutorials out there for that. I can do one if there's a request. We can just keep going from this point on, but while he's walking, you can swing the arms out. Like I said, this here is the ejector. This object right here, that's meant to be the shell ejector. So in my mind, this here, this is the magazine, holds all the bullets, okay? So in my mind, this is meant to eject shells out of it like this. You have little shells. Okay? That's how I intended it to be. So, oh. Make it fit, make it fit. There we go. So anyway, like I was saying, you can continue to animate it. You can add different animations. You can make a particle system for the shells. You know, have fun with it. All right? That's what I'm providing the model for, so you can enjoy it. Other than that, we would bring back our basically my movie set layer. We can go to the camera. It's only going to move 60 frames, but this is what it would look like. Once we set it up in the NLA editor, you can set it to cycle over and over and over. But outside of the camera, this is what it's going to end up looking like. You can see the shadows falling, and none of the parts collide with each other. We modified the geometry for the ankle so that the heel fits nice, so it doesn't look like it's intersecting. And apart from that, you know, like I said, have fun with it. Set your guns up, add some particles, some bullets, some shells, and I'd love to see the results. Thanks for watching the tutorial in whole, or whatever parts you watched. And if there is any interest, I'd like to do a tutorial on modeling a mech next. But after that, you know, if you have any suggestions, or there's something you really want to see, especially and explicitly related to mechs or animating mechs or creating a particle system for mechs or anything like that, then just let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back in touch. Thanks for watching.